we have been taking a closer look at how cases are being closed across the country. As you all know, as mediators, it's an unfair evaluation tool to judge the outcome of a mediation as a success tool, right? Resolved or unresolved or administratively closed, the case was closed. But we can't really determine whether or not there was success based on that outcome. But we do want to have the ability to speak clearly about how our cases are being closed. And what we've found is that the administrative case closure other code was being used to capture a huge swath of types of cases that are being closed for various reasons. At one point, that case closure code included a huge line of verbiage after it. It said, determined not to be USERRA violation, subject or a service member withdraws or has a case open with the Department of Labor or an attorney. So in order to more closely capture why that case closure code was being used, we've created a secondary drop-down menu when someone selects that option in ICMS. So this is what it looks like. This is live ICMS, just in that case screen, the case management screen. When we select administrative case closure other, you'll notice that very long option is no longer available. So just case closure other. Users can now select a secondary option that the service member withdrew the case, opened a case with DOL vets, or doesn't seem to be USERRA related. So can select from one of these three things. And the other thing that we're going to ask users to do is add a case closure note as to why this is relevant, right? What actually was the outcome here, why this is an appropriate case closure code. We started to see that case closures, admin, others were starting to creep up a little bit without any real justification for why or being able to tell what the actual reasoning was. So the hope is that the secondary resolution option will allow us to drill that in a little bit better so we can kind of get a better story for the arc of our cases. The one issue with this as of now, because ICMS is a unique system that requires a lot of hand-holding, is that this cannot be reported. So we can't pull this information out of the system yet, but we do expect to be able to add this to our reporting capability at some point this FY, so we can actually use this data to see what's actually happening with these cases so that we can get a good ending to these stories. But we just want to make you aware that this change has happened so that you can be guiding your ombudsman to select the appropriate subcategory when they're closing cases as other.
And you mentioned a note. You want that in the notes section?
So we can add a note up here of, service member withdrew the case because they resolved the issue themselves, right? They don't need our intervention anymore, or because their mother told them to. We've heard all sorts of reasons as to why, but you can just put in the why within the context of our normal case closure notes, right? We don't need any strong opinions. We don't need any strong statements, just some facts around the why, and then close the case as normal.